Yeah, let's dive right into it. Obviously, Michigan and Rutgers have the night game coming up this weekend. So, kind of give us a rundown of just kind of Rutgers, what the season's been for them as of now, and what you foresee, this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, so the season has been kind of a roller coaster from right from the start. There's presumptive returning starter Noah Vedral, quarterback. He got hurt in training camp, so they kind of rolled with a bunch of different quarterbacks in and out at the beginning of the season, but they still managed to go 3-0. In the non-conference. And then Vedral came back and it kind of mixed things up a little bit. Adding him in with Gavin Wimsatt and Evan Simon. Even Giant Langan has played a little quarterback at times, even though he's playing tight end now. Rutgers fired their offensive coordinator Sean Gleason a couple weeks ago, so during the right before the bye week, so they've been kind of rolling with the interim guy there who actually um, was the previous or was interim head coach and interim offense coordinator in 2019, right before Greg Schiano took over. He stayed on staff. But yeah, I mean, the defense has played well this season for Rutgers. It didn't really seem that way against Minnesota, but that was more so the offense kind of not being able to do anything and turn the ball over. Really the offense obviously has been the issue. I mean, you fire the offensive coordinator, obviously things are not going well. So, but yeah, I mean, Rutgers does have a couple of playmakers. They just have to give them the ball, and right now they're really developing Wimsatt. They're giving him the keys to the castle, I guess you could say. Redshirt freshman. He just turned 19 the other day. So yeah, it's his team now for the rest of the way. It looks like, and I guess they're seeing what they got with them now.
Now, he was a pretty highly recruited quarterback, if I'm not mistaken. I think I read, what was I reading? I think CBS, maybe something like that. But they were saying even Michigan was recruiting him pretty hard, and he ended up early enrolling at Rutgers. So
Yeah.
I mean, potential wise, he seems to kind of have the potential that a lot of the schools are looking for.
Sure. Yeah, he was a four-star guy. He actually came. He played like three high school games. I think it was his senior year, and he
Okay.
came in like the end of September, early October, and he played his four games last fall, and then redshirted, and he got hurt a little bit earlier this season. So he hasn't been playing as much, but he did start last week against Minnesota. That was his first game back, and he's going to be playing again. He does have some accuracy issues, but he has like everything that you want in terms of the look of a a modern day quarterback. He has a good arm. He can run it. Right now, it's about kind of making the right reads and also making sure he's healthy and everything. So yeah, I mean he obviously does have some things to work on, but right now they're gonna ride and die with the mistakes, and hopefully he can learn and get better, and everyone's sees him as the kind of future of the quarterback and future of the team. So
Yeah, and I think having the young guy already on campus is definitely a big deal when you're talking about building a program and really taking those strides. Now, obviously, we all know about Greg Schiano's tenure before he was before this season. Obviously, coming back to Rutgers, did a phenomenal job while he was there in his first go round. How are people seeing him now? How's the Rutgers fan base, seeing him and feeling about his progress and what he's done so far this year?
yeah, everyone was really excited to have him come on board. I mean, there was maybe a certain period where he wasn't gonna be named the head coach, but obviously there's a lot of like fans that kind of helped push Pet Hobbs to hire him and everything like that. But he's really changed the culture of the team for the better. There's great chemistry. He's made staff changes after a couple years, so um, I think the fans really want to see the team kind of turn the corner a little bit. But I think it's a process. It's a multi-year rebuild, and they're really maybe like 2 years away to really seeing some like really good progress. Obviously, they're going to have some Big Ten wins along the way. But obviously, it's hard to do it, in the Big Ten East when you're playing against Ohio State and Michigan every week, and or every year in Penn State. So, but hopefully, the no division things in a couple years will help them out a little bit, or at least getting them away from some of the other powers. But
Yeah, they play with some of the. I was looking at the schedule and like, man, they have Rutgers has quite the close because I believe I saw Michigan. They got Penn State. I don't know if they have. I think did they play Ohio State already or
yeah, they did. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, early season,
And
early
then I
on.
think
Yeah,
they have Michigan State as well. So I'm
yep.
like, man, I was looking to see. Do you think that they will be bowl eligible? I think they'll probably be close. What are your thoughts on that?
So I'm leaning toward no. I know in the preseason I had them pegged at 4 wins. I think 6 is too much of a task right now. I mean, they got Michigan this week. You still have Michigan State, Penn State, and Maryland. Maybe they can sneak that Michigan State win. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna look like in a couple weeks. I know last year, Rutgers and Maryland were both 5-5 heading into last week, and Maryland just absolutely destroyed them. So I think Maryland just has too much firepower and offense for Rutgers to keep up. But yeah, so I'm gonna lean toward no. But I mean, anything's possible. If we do get 5 wins, I mean, I don't think they're gonna have the whole COVID thing like last year when they got into the bowl game. Funny enough, they actually got into a quote unquote better bowl game than they would have had they beat Maryland. So, I mean, who knows how everything, that was kind of an interesting situation there. But yeah, I think you have to wait till next year to kind of think about a bowl probably.
Okay. Yeah, and you just never know. I don't know. Like I said, if the 5 wins would be able to get you in, usually it was kind of that 6 win was the mark. So
Yep.
who knows, right? If they have, and it feels like every year they're bringing on another bowl game and creating a new one and getting to the point where it's like, hey man, we might not have enough teams to fill this at just the 6 win. So
Yep.
who knows as far as how that'll end up. Well, Chris, I know you've got some things to get to. Any kind of last things you want to tell us about, Rutgers, kind of the future, anything that maybe our viewers aren't aware of?
Yeah, I'm obviously not picking a Rutgers win here. Obviously, I think Michigan State or Michigan's gonna win, pretty handily here. But the team overall is young, and like I said, that it's gonna take a couple years for them to really see the progress in terms of the wins column. But the defense has played really well this season. And there's a lot of young guys, especially on the defensive line. Um, we talked to defensive end Aaron Lewis today, and I think it was last week. Pro Football Focus put out a stat that he and only Alabama's Will Anderson had both 80 plus grades in run defense and pass rush. So, some Rutgers guys are getting some attention there. He was actually really kind of Minnesota kind of put two offensive linemen on him, or tight end offensive linemen on him on almost every play, and he was getting double teamed. And so it's up to other guys on the line and the defense to kind of step up if other teams are going to shut him down. So, but yeah, he's been a really good player. You know, they got a couple really good linebackers that are playing really well, and Tyron Powell, Deion Jennings. They're very thin at a linebacker, so it's mostly only those two guys. And obviously, with Michigan's run game, I think they'll be able to wear him down pretty quickly. But yeah, I mean, anything's possible. But I mean, a night game, I'm sure the crowd's gonna be is gonna be pretty good there. I know Rutgers added some different kind of lights and music to the stadium atmosphere this year, so I'm sure it'll be a good time.